Hi, I'm Mike Miller. Hope you're having a great day. Thanks so much for watching. My guest today plays many instruments, including a harp, and I'm honored to have JoeVee here today. Thank you so much for coming to the studio.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
And you've had an interesting life, it sounds like.
Well, it appears to be. I've not given it much thought, but lately people have been hearing it and going, you should, tell other people about these things that you do.
You grew up over in the Lubbock area?
I was born here in Fort Worth.
In Fort Worth, yeah.
And during the construction of the highways, the railroad started losing people, and my father migrated up to Lubbock, Texas.
Yeah.
Back in '57, I believe.
And you were saying you guys have a historical home in Denton?
Yes, that's true. My father's family his father came from Mexico, great-grandfather.
Uh-huh.
And when his wife passed away, he found out that there was an Indian lady living in Decatur. And so he hitched up the wagon one weekend, went there, came back with a new wife. And my father and all his brothers were born.
Yeah, yeah. And it's a historical house on...
608 Wither Street is the address.
In Denton, yeah.
And it's been designated a historical landmark, I believe.
And something at the courthouse square?
Yes, it's the museum is inside of Denton Courthouse. And the home, of course, as I said, just across near that. I forget the name of that park, but it used to be a very natural park.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. It's been mostly full of concrete now, but it's still recognizable.
Yeah, yeah. So in college, you went to TCU?
I went to Texas Tech on a full scholarship.
Oh, okay.
When I graduated in '75 in the Dean's Honor List, I came up here and started doing volunteer work with TCJC, when it's TCC now.
Oh, yes.
And did that for quite a number of years. While I was there, I was doing some master's work here at UNT.
Really?
And after I finished that, I didn't finish the master's. I kind of ran short of money. Once I moved further to Fort Worth, I started working with a Laura Logan, who is the instructor of harps at TCU. So I've done a few things over there.
And you opened at the Meyerson for a group there when
we opened up for the Dallas. It was the grand opening for the Dallas Symphony Orchestra.
Oh, okay.
And so I believe it was the grand opening. Carlos Guedes was the harpist. And, of course, my claim to fame is I'm a multi-instrumentalist. I can play many instruments, and many people wonder, well, which is your main instrument? And then a percussionist, and we played there, and Carlos Guedes and I influenced each other very much, where he showed me a lot. Me having a music degree and being a band director as well at the time, he showed me enough things that I could start on my own. And of course, he was fascinated. How do you go switch from French horn to clarinet to oboe to flute and whatever? The embouchures have to be worked a little bit, but the mouth configuration. But I seem to able to do that very easily these days. As a matter of fact, just last night I played Thursday night in the old orchestra hall, which is the former rehearsal place of the Fort Worth Symphony Orchestra.
Really?
And I helped form a band there called the German Band in North Texas.
That's great.
And so last night I played clarinet with them, and they sometimes when they're short of another instrument, French horn or tuba, percussion even, I'll play that instead. We're very close friends. He's the lawyer whose great-grandparents went down with the Titanic many years ago.
Oh, really?
Yes, same person.
The harp has a long history, I suppose. It's been used since antiquity.
Yes, it does. I think it started out as a lyre, L-Y-R-E.
Yes.
And there were some of the earliest recorded instances are actually from biblical scripture, where David soothed the lion's heart within King Solomon, I believe, whenever he was troubled.
Oh, yeah.
They were the first examples of what we now call sound therapy, music therapy. Or healing music in general.
That's for sure.
True. So that's where it kind of got to start. But I really I sense that actually the idea for the lyre as well as harp came from the very first bowmen who, when they would hear the twanging of their strings of their bow and arrows, would hear certain pitches, and they started from there.
Yes.
The germ of an idea, if you will.
And what kind of harp is this, were you saying?
This is a wooden harp, and it's called a Celtic harp.
Celtic.
Or a lever harp because of the levers that are on top of it. It's very simple. It's built similar to the pedal harps you see in the orchestra halls.
Yes.
And
you said this is what kind of wood?
This is walnut. The entirety of it, except for the lighter color, and that is spruce.
Yeah.
It's a thinner wood, so it helps the frequencies to resonate even better.
Really? Yeah.
Right. As far as the pedal harp, there's more of a harder or tighter sound. With these harps, with the wood, obviously you would get what we'd call a warm sound. and it's considered very healing. There's been reams of documentation with quantum physicists who are trying to, or who have convinced the medical industry that you can't just treat the body anymore and expect that you're going to have a full cure. You have to cure the mind, which is emotionally unstable, and you have to soothe the soul, so to speak. The one thing that we rarely address these days.
That's true.
So with the frequencies here, incidentally at 432 hertz, as opposed to the traditional 440, the 432 has been deemed as or shown to be healing in a sense.
More healing, really?
Yes.
There's something kind of edgy about 440.
I think they created that standard to be just above the natural 432 natural sound of everything, to come up and be a little distant so it could be heard much better. I can't think of a better reason.
Yeah, yeah. Now, all the Latino beats, those really have a long history.
The what?
Samba and different beats of
the different rhythms?
South America and that.
Well, it being a Celtic harp, the sounds would be more akin to the Irish and Scottish jigs and music that you hear on Celtic dance and some of the river dance.
Yeah.
That type of music gets fit into something like that.
What kind of beats are those? You said
they're very much 2/4, 4/4, very relaxed march beat almost. They're very strict in tempo because it's basically a dancing type of music. As you know, as you see river dance and some of the people who dance, there are certain steps.
And you were saying you have a drum set. You play a lot of drum and percussion music in addition to the...
Yes, in addition to that. In fact, sometimes when I do play this harp in more relaxed settings, say a restaurant or I've even played outdoors at camping events. I sometimes will attach a tambourine. They make special tambourines for your feet. Instead of a chair, I'll sit on a cajon, and I can, with my heel of my foot, I can create some kind of a primitive beat.
Yeah.
I don't want to do too much because I'm trying to avoid the one-man band syndrome. At the same time, just a little bit of rhythm enhances what I'm doing.
Sure, that's for sure. I appreciate you coming down today and look forward to hearing your music. And thank you so much for watching the show, and stay tuned to hear some very interesting music. Have a great day.
Follow your dreams, and they say, do what you want, and money will come.